It was recently announced that Vasyl Lomachenko will face Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC World Lightweight title. Most people had expected Devin Haney to fight Luke Campbell for this vacant belt, but the WBC have apparently seen fit to make Vasyl Lomachenko the mandatory for the title, even though he holds a world title of a different sanctioning body. Now, that is not the norm. Normally, sanctioning bodies don't even rank each other's champions, much less make each other's champions mandatory for their respective belts. But the WBC has broken that mold in the past few years. For example, they made Sergey Kovalev mandatory for Adonis Stevenson when Kovalev was a WBO champion and Stevenson was WBC. They also did it in the middleweight division when Gennady Golovkin was made mandatory for Miguel Cotto and then later on Canelo Alvarez. So the WBC have broken that mold in recent years. They're doing it again here. I mean, your guess is as good as mine with regards to what criteria is needed. What criteria needs to be met for them to be doing this. I don't know. The WBC appear to be one of those organizations that just makes things up as they go along, okay, from the outside looking in. You've got this interview on Boxing Social here, which was uploaded today with Mauricio Sulaiman, calling Eddie Hearn the king of double standards. There appears to be some tension between Hearn and Sulaiman at this point, because Hearn has been fighting Dylan White's corner, trying to get him a shot at the WBC World Heavyweight title against Deontay Wilder. Dylan White has been saying that the WBC are protecting Wilder. And, Eddie Hearn has been really forceful in trying to push for a resolution that they're satisfied with regards to the Dylan White situation. And the deal or the resolution that the WBC recently came up with, and Eddie Hearn didn't disclose the details of it, but he just said that it was not satisfactory to Team White or Matchroom. So they're continuing to push that situation. And now with Luke Campbell and Devin Haney, Eddie Hearn obviously has both those fighters, and he was hoping to get those two guys in the ring for the vacant belt. Lomachenko has come in and basically ensured that Eddie Hearn will not get a world champion out of that situation. So you can understand why Eddie Hearn's kind of upset about it. But obviously Vasyl Lomachenko is going to be happy. Bob Arum's going to be happy. And it does appear that at this point, there is a little bit of a beef between Eddie Hearn and the WBC. And this happens in boxing. You do get allegiances between particular promoters and, certain sanctioning bodies. The WBO, for example, have had a very long, close relationship with Frank Warren for many, many years. With Eddie Hearn, it was the IBF for a while. They were working very closely with him. So you do get this. I mean, Don King, for example, worked very closely with the WBC for many decades. And he was kind of their promoter in a certain sense. At least that's how it looked from the outside looking in. So let me know what you guys think about this situation, this beef that is developing between Eddie Hearn and the WBC. How will this affect matchroom fighters going forward? And, for example, Anthony Joshua has been trying to get Deontay Wilder in the ring. Why don't the WBC make Anthony Joshua the mandatory for Deontay Wilder? We'd like to see that happen because Deontay Wilder is refusing to go ahead and engage in negotiations or accept any deals from Team AJ. His manager, Shelly Finkel, recently came out in an interview and said they've got no interest in fighting Anthony Joshua in 2019. It will be 2020 at the earliest. And Deontay Wilder said something similar in another interview, that he's all tied up at the moment and he's not even thinking about Joshua right now. He's got plenty of fighters to fight in 2019. So, yeah, that situation could be resolved by Mauricio Sulaiman simply doing what he's done for Vasyl Lomachenko, what he did for Gennady Golovkin, and what he did for Sergey Kovalev in making Anthony Joshua mandatory for Deontay Wilder. But will he do it? I seriously doubt it. Could Eddie Hearn apply pressure on him to do it? I mean, I don't think so. Eddie Hearn might like to think so. He might like to think that he's got more sway than he actually has. But I think the WBC are very closely aligned to Al Heyman, Don King, and it's getting quite bitter now between Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman. I think that's abundantly clear. Before Eddie Hearn made an incursion into the United States, his relationship with Al Heyman was relatively good, although Al Heyman did sign up a couple of Eddie Hearn fighters to advisory deals. They were still promoted by Eddie Hearn, but it appeared as though Al Heyman had more control over those fighters' careers at the time than Eddie Hearn did. So, yeah, that was a little tension, but I think the tension is a lot bigger now between Hearn and Heyman since Hearn crossed over into the United States. And of course, Heyman is now in the UK, put on one show, which was James DeGale versus Chris Eubank Jr. I haven't heard anything since in terms of if he's going to put on any more shows, but we'll see. Bottom line is, at least in my opinion, the WBC are favoring the other side over Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, etc. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.